Hello, everyone, and welcome to Snap Take. Yesterday was an amazingly eventful day in Marvel Snap, insofar as we had a brand new season. We have a ton of data mines. We released two videos, one going over all those data mines, and I streamed for a bunch of hours, stopping at rank 89. As soon as that stream ended, I spent my time figuring out what the best decks for you were in Marvel Snap if you're looking to climb with this new season. And unsurprisingly, the very best deck to hit Infinite with is right now my Hela list. I call this my hell list, but that's a bit of a misnomer. The second Scar was changed in the OTA like a week or so ago. I made this hella list, but so did Perry Manilow, so did Ika, and so did Cam Best. We all fundamentally immediately threw this one together. This is a very cheap but extremely powerful list, and again, one of the very best ways to climb in Marvel Snap. You can find me streaming at twitch.tv/PulseGlazer. I won't be playing this list in all likelihood. I mean, I guess you can try and bribe me to do so with channel points or something, but it's very unlikely I'll be playing this list. But you can find me on stream finishing up my climb later tonight and talking to Tucker about the new cards. This deck needs both Blink and Scar. It's worth reminding you that Scar is in Spotlights next week, so don't use tokens on the card unless you're skipping next week, and Scar is a Series 4. It's also worth noting, however, that I think Hela will probably be nerfed. I think this is a deck with a very short shelf life. Hela being this consistent, and when you see the win rate, your mind will be blown. Hela being this consistent in this number of games is not what Marvel Snap's design team really wants, because Hela is so hard to play around and so easy to play. So, given that that's the case, I fully expect this to be nerfed, not this week, but next Thursday. So if you have access to this, play it now. Get Infinite. Enjoy. If you don't have Thunderbolt Ross, have no fear. Adam Warlock is a perfectly fine replacement here. Okay, so our turn by turn plus snapping. So before we get to that, this is the best deck for Infinite so far. It's a 66% win rate from rank 90 to 100 in 140 games. That is the highest win rate in the most games. There's something with higher win rate in like 50 games, but even then it's a barely higher win rate. This is where you want to be for Infinite right now if your only goal is to just hit the damn spot. So turn one with this list, you want Blade if Infinite. Blade if Infinite, almost the second you can discard Infinite, you really want to snap. You are now suddenly extraordinarily favored. So turn one or two are Blade if Infinite, and if you don't have that Blade on turn two, you're perfectly happy to play Thunderbolt Ross. The timing on Thunderbolt Ross here is really, really great, particularly for Black Cat, because if you do get Black Cat, that Black Cat will immediately discard herself before the next turn even begins. That's excellent on turn 5 in particular. Turn three is Lady Sif in whatever big cards you can. Infinite is your goal, but Death or Scar are totally fine. You will play Blade for Infinite on turn three over Sif for Death or Scar, just fair warning. And then you will just play the Death or Scar discard the next turn. Again, totally fine. Discarding Infinite is your priority. The other play you can make is Swordmaster if Scar, and you'll note that there's very few odd cards here. Be careful with Swordmaster. Fairly often you're going to be going for Scar and hit Lady Sif, so just use Lady Sif for the damn discard. You don't want to hit Blink or Blade either as a roll. You're okay hitting Blink, but you'd really rather say Blink to make sure you get your Hela. After that, we have on turn four, we play either a 3 or the Hellcow. The Hellcow is amazing in this list. Getting out Hellcow on 3 or 4 is incredible. Turn 5, you blink. If you had played a 3 or Hellcow on 4 and you still don't have Hela, or if you only have big things that don't discard left in your deck, if you are going to do so without Hela in hand, without Hela in hand, then you're going to want to trigger Blink first. You can also play Jubilee or just use more discard cards. Turn 6, Hela, and please, for the love of God, you've hopefully snapped before Hela to chase the opponent away, or you can play Jubilee or Blink for Hela. Blink can guarantee you Hela in several circumstances here. That's the list. This list is incredible. It's where you want to be. It's what you want to be playing if your only goal is to hit Infinite. But we have new cards to talk about, which we'll talk about momentarily. But first, I have to ask you to hit that sub, like, and comment if you're willing. We bring you more Marvel Snap content than anyone. We did 10 videos last week. We've already done an extra video yesterday covering the data mines. We cover Marvel Snap more consistently and thoroughly than anyone in this whole community. So if you want the most consistent Marvel Snap content, best decks, and we've got exclusive best decks you're not finding in anyone else's video. So exclusive top decks. Please make sure you hit that sub button, little red button, bottom right corner. We'll also be giving away a copy of Agamotto on this video, not like at some unforeseen point. At the end of the week, someone who commented on this video will win Agamotto. All I have to do is be subbed, and then later this video, your comment, I'll tell you what to comment, will enter you to win this great season pass card. Our friend Cougar managed to hit number one, rank one on his day one infinite. As of this recording, he's been infinite at rank one for absolutely hours. This is the list he played. This is what he's playing. This is a really, really cool Agamotto and Isan list. We will go over a list that has just Agamotto and a list that has just Isan later this video, but this is right now the number one ranked list. It's really cool. This is sort of like that old Zunes deck. Zunes was number one, not this past December, the December before, with the Black Knight deck, and it has sort of fallen out of the meta. It almost crawled back with Victoria Hand, a black hand deck that our friend Rora made, and now I think it's all the way back. Isan absolutely finally makes sense in a list with this, and things are coming together. Cougar doesn't have any socials, which is why I'm pretty sure this is the exclusive place for you to get this list. This deck needs Black Knight, Iron Patriot, Agamotto, and Victoria Hand. I know that's a reasonable number of high series stuff, but hopefully you buy season passes. If you buy season passes, only 2 high series stuff. Valentina is amazing here, but can just be Mirage. If you don't have Frigga, you can run Luke. Frigga is amazing. Frigga can copy the Shard, especially if Quinjet's out. That's incredibly strong. Frigga can copy Victoria Hand. Frigga can copy a 3-cost Valentina card with Quinjet, or a 1 or free Iron 1, 2 or free Iron Patriot card. All of those are insanely strong plays. Frigga is great, and finally coming back to spotlights in April, it seems like. Isan and Hulkling can be Magneto and Infinite. Those are like losing Isan is way, way worse for this list, but you'll be fine. Hulkling is whatever. He's just good because he gives you surprises, and surprises means more cubes. So turn one, you want Black Knight, and that's more or less equal to Quinjet. It's really hard to know which to do first. You're going to have to look at your hand and the board and really think it through. If you think you might be discarding right away, you want Black Knight, but you really want that Quinjet out too, because if you're going to play Valentina on 2, having that 6 that you can play on 3 with Quinjet is absolutely amazing. So it's really, really rough here. You will happily Blade if Hulkling or Isan, and you already have Ghost Rider. If not, try and hold that Blade for a little longer. It'll be fine because Lady Sif is a perfectly fine backup discard plan with only 2 6s in the deck. Turn 2, you want a 1-drop, again, Black Knight and Quinjet Blade for those big cards if you have Ghost Rider over Iron Patriot or Valentina over Frigga. If you feel like you might not be able to win that Iron Patriot lane based on what they've played or based on your hand, then Valentina can go over Iron Patriot, especially if you have Quinjet. And Frigga should say Victoria Hand there, excuse me. Turn 3 is Lady Sif if a big, and Ghost Rider or Black Knight is better than one of your 2-drop plays. So if you're going to get that Lady Sif, and you can Black Knight it, or you can immediately Ghost Rider it back, especially if you can Ghost Rider back that Isan, then now you want to snap. Turn 4, Ghost Rider, you should have snapped before, but that's a snap condition. Or you can play a Shard. And again, if the Shard is 3 and you can Frigga it, you're really, really going to town. Turn 5, you have Agamotto, or you can play some generators or cheap generated cards. Iron Patriot and Frigga is great here. Iron Patriot card, the card that is discounted with Frigga, is absolutely amazing here as well. Turn 6 is 6 or a combo of the generated stuff. And again, with Quinjet, hopefully that costs 3. There's times when you'll be able to play a copied Shard and an extra Valentina card on this turn. And you just have an unknowable amount of power that you're dropping all over the board. This list is absolutely incredible. Don't over-index on Victoria Hand. She's nice. She's a nice little buff. She's a good surprise. But what you're really, really trying to do is you're trying to use your big cards, use your Shards, use your Valentina cards, use your Iron Patriot cards in order to win games with an output that your opponent just cannot know. This list is awesome. Give it a try. All right. My Isan first impressions are that he's not great. He has a couple decks where he's going to be required, but I don't think he's going to be a generalist good card. That last list needs him, right? We're going to look at another list that can use him, but I'm not sure the version that has him is better or not. He's also really good in Arisham. I'm fairly neutral on this card right now. I'm not negative. I streamed for a long time, and a lot of top players come by my stream when I stream because I've been doing this for a long time. And like a few of them are like, this card is terrible. And a few are like, okay, this is pretty good. No one seems to think this is great yet. And I'm of a mind of that. I think this is a good card, and we're still going to be working on finding its homes. This one is not an immediately like, this came out and we know where to play it type of card. So let's see how that Black Knight deck develops with a little bit larger sample and not just a top player playing it before we make any hard and fast decisions about the card Isan. Again, reminder, tomorrow's video, I will have top player thoughts. I'll ask a bunch of top players what they think of Isan after yet another day of testing it, and I will report out those numbers to you. We have here Smiles Goodbird. This is an update of a Husky Puppies list. Husky Puppies 35 finished around the top 10. I don't think he was actually in the top 10, but around the top 10 with a list like this last season. Smiles basically shifted around a card, added Iron Patriot Valentina and Isan to the list, and was able to take this to, for a time, number one on the Infinite leaderboard. But this is also a day one Infinite. That is very, very cool. Excuse me. That should not say twitch.tv/. This should be Smiles. Smiles goes in game under the name Dr. Shrimp, Puerto Rico. You can play the other good version without Isan, but Aranya can be Iron Fist. Reminder, Ghost Spider is now a Series 3 card, and thank God I no longer have to do card replacements for that all the time. This was the original Husky version. You can see it runs Kate, uh, Luna Snow, and Alith in those extra spots. So I'm not good with this list. Straight up, I'm not good with this list. But this is how you play it. Top Turn 1, you play Aranya, Maw if you already have War Machine in hand. Turn 2, Iron Patriot over Valentina if you think you can win Iron Patriot. That can flip if that changes. Turn 3, Electro over if you can already move the bird with Aranya and your hand is all big stuff over 2+1. Turn 4 is Blink, and you want to blink that Electro real bad over War Machine. You should be a little careful with War Machine if you can avoid it for an extra turn because Enchantress is a card. Unless you're like facing a deck you're short, your opponent doesn't have Enchantress, then you can just drop War Machine. Turn 5, War Machine or move a bird. And turn 6 is Isan or Magneto. That's it. It's really simple. This is not the hardest list in the world to play, although there are a lot of options, and you'll have to get used to your hands. Once you get used to your hands, this is very powerful. The power output is quite big and quite impressive for this list. Give it some run. I don't think you'll be sad. Remember that you really, really, really want to see Electro, or you want to be able to blink it to something big to have your best chance of winning for this list. Isan, by the way, goes excellently with Blink. My friend BitTwiddle made a list that I'm currently 6-0 with. That's basically an Isan Blink list. Those two cards are really, really tight together. Start considering those a pair. Start considering Isan more highly if you enjoy playing Blink decks. Don't forget, I'll be streaming tonight around 8:30 p.m. Eastern. I might also be streaming around 3:30 p.m. Eastern. Is it a two-stream day? Hard to say. Let's find out together. All right, so simple season pass question. What are your first impressions of Agamotto and Isan? Let me know what you think in the comments in order to enter to win Agamotto. I'm sure if you've played against it at this point. So Agamotto is very strong. I don't know if this is going to be a meta staple for sure, but this feels like it fits in a lot of Galacta and good cardsy lists, a lot of Wiccan lists. 510 is a lot, 513 is insane. The spells are very, very good. The one that gives -5 and moves the card to the right is game winning. The extra energy one is game winning, especially if you can manage to play it. Especially if you can manage to play that one in such a way. Oh God, we have to try this with Wong. We haven't tried this with Wong. I'm gonna try this with Wong. But that plus energy one is game winning, especially if it gets doubled. But like, especially if you use it to ramp into basically insurmountable leads early, or the copy a lane thing is absolutely game winning. It turns lanes that are like 14 points into like 30-point lanes that are really tough to beat. Um, the only one I don't really love is the one that goes to get him, and even that's pretty damn good. It's deck thinning, and that again 13 power is a ton. I think Agamotto is another season pass home run, y'all. Hate to say it, but season pass, go get it. All right, so our friend Alliance Lowell, he's in the Snap Judgments Alliance competitive. Snap Legends is rank 2 right now with a very, very cool Scream list. I mean, okay, that's overstating it. With a Scream list that is the Scream list, which I personally will always think is a cool list. Although this one does the complicated thing of taking out Magneto and putting in Agamotto. That's really all this does. But Agamotto's awesome, so it's really great to see this in this list. You can find Alliance Lowell at twitter.com/@alliance_Lowell. He's an excellent player and really, really nice person. This deck needs only Scream, really, much like always for Scream lists, you only need Scream. Hydra Bob can be Kingpin or Uncle Ben, or Nebula. Rocket and Groot, Iron Patriot, Sam Wilson. Juggernaut, Red Guardian, Silk, Nebula, Luke. And just a bit of advice, Juggernaut is insanely good right now. Start looking to run it again if you can. If you don't have Cannonball, you run Magneto or Arrow. Oh, sorry, the Agamotto could also be Magneto or Arrow. I think Agamotto is going to be a regular in these lists. Although there is some question because drawing Scream is so important, whether that will be long term, but he is absolutely excellent here. Turn 1, you unhide your Bob for this. Turn 2, Scream, and Scream is a snap condition over Sam, which is more or less equal to Iron Patriot, which is better than Craven. Your non-Scream snap condition is usually being able to use cards like Stegron and Polaris, and now Agamotto spells to clog. If you can cause an early clog, that's often a win condition there too. Turn 3, Rock and Groot if Iron Patriot is better than Polaris if Scream or Craven is better, and another 2 is totally fine here. Turn 4, you can play Stegron, but you'd usually rather hold it. You'd rather, generally speaking, play a 2/2, one of those being Spider-Man. Turn 5, Stegron and Miles is a great play. You can also just drop Agamotto, especially if he's 13 power, or you can play a 3/2. This is a good point if you finally got Prio, because Rocket and Groot's not great without Prio, to play Rocket and Groot with a 2-drop. Just really solid play. You can see Iron Patriot at that point, or Iron Patriot on turn 4. Turn 4 is less good Iron Patriot turn. Sometimes you're really going to want to get Sam out there too. Playing Sam is immediately playing a 2/5 and means 2/6 in one lane, even if it's late game. Turn 6, you generally speaking want Cannonball in 1, but feel free to play whatever good, powerful cards you have. You should be able to control the board. You should have controlled the board to this point where you should be very, very comfortable in winning. Scream remains the best deck in Marvel Snap, in my estimation, outside of maybe Hela. So that's why I wanted to sort of bookend this video with the very best things. I think if I wanted to climb, and all I cared about was climbing and not testing and not learning, this deck and that very first Hela deck would be what I'd play. So hopefully you give these decks a try, and hopefully you have the success that I want you to with them. Hey, late tonight, check out the stream team. Today is Wednesday, so Game with Flash X between 9 and 10 p.m. Eastern will be streaming. Go check out my friend Flash. Questions of the day. We'll kick this off with Heretics Lee, who wants Sanctum Shop and Gold advice. So it looks like Sanctum is going to come back in April because there's 3 data mine cards um, in the X-Men universe. It's a new X-Men season that are coming out. So either it's a new mode or Sanctum Showdown is coming back, and they're still going to give us like 3 new cards to buy because all those are Series 4 cards. I think it's generally speaking because unowned cards are so valuable, and this is mode is the only way to buy unowned cards. If I were trying to get in my stuff cheaply, I would buy the season pass, and then I would save buy the season pass. I'd also probably buy the gold pass, and then I would hoard all my gold. Every bit of my gold would be hoarded, and with that hoarded gold, I would be making sure that I got all the unowned cards from Sanctum, and then the next time Sanctum comes back, I would make sure I have enough gold for that. I would keep track of how much gold I had I needed to spend for Sanctum, including not including the Twitch drops, and I would always keep that amount, and then I would buy the best value gold bundles above the head of that. Our friend Koire asks about Kindergarten Cop and specifically whether I go, it's not a Tuma whenever I see a Tuma, and yeah, of course I do. Who doesn't? Certain tiers of support on our Patreon come with on there. Thanks. If you're interested in checking out our Patreon, check out patreon.com/snapjudgments. We have all sorts of great stuff there. Thank you to our patron of the month, Absolute Shannon, and I'm going to do this quickly because my eyes may be closing. Thank you to Abigail Gleason, Manager Burnout, Irregardless, LAB, Inc., Iron Frostman, Holta Navidante, Think the Poker, Prime Dryan, Ryan Burke, Ryan Wood, Kertix Lee, Koi Ray, Rude, Kazushi, Archangel 3K, Black Dahlia, Profos, The Goat Seeker, Hollowed, Nightmare, Only Fox, Synth, Fat Dick, Dirty Casual, Mr. Kerfuffle, Cables, Ginger Prime, Philip Rackridge, Haplo, Kenny Loggins of the Danger of the Bizza, Black Cubus 23, XOC, and Skippy G, Jessica Gamble, Slush, Death, Kinga Bros, Great Kazoo, Werewolf, Keb, Sehoda, Lunacrest, Clam, Colonel Forbin, Rob Silverman, M. Holland, David G. Wingfield, Stephen, Brian Kaufman, Just Nice Run, Jason B., Mr. Craig Sterry, Matt V., Ryan Wrench, Corman, John Q, and Jim McHugh, Gist Out, 8 Sage, 1 Big Man, Milkman for Reals, Cactus Jack, BG, Quid Pro Joe, Snap Decisions Joe, who just interviewed Nina is Noob. Check out his podcast, please. Models, Monster Green, Green, Goblin, Unibot, Flan 56, The Fuzzy Nut, Spectrumix, Hoot, Ocularis. Welcome back, Ocu. Matt H, DJ Mikey Hijinks, No Frickin' Flex, Nick the Greek Geek, love you, my man. Zodrex, the King of Canada, Demman Falcon, Foth, Thor, Newman, Jonesy, Two Ties, the Great Lord as the Pecking Took, of course, Gonna T, where the T stands for 2 more great videos. Don't forget the data mine one, and I'll see you tomorrow. Be good. Oh, be good, and I'll see you tonight on stream. Peace.